Hey, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to the Thomas More Saints Sports Network for this action between the Saints and the Harriers of Miami Hamilton University. I'm really excited to see this action, and why listen to me talk for 10 minutes? I'm not going to do that. How about we have Brady Labor and Coach Jeff Hands have a phenomenal interview on our soon-to-be award-winning pregame show to talk about Day 2 of the Julie Costello Memorial Classic, presented by Barleycorns.
Fans, Brady Labor here on the Saints Sports Network, the soon-to-be award-winning pregame show. We're here once again with the head coach of the Thomas More Saints, Jeff Hands. Coach, it's day number 2 of the 21st annual Julie Costello Memorial Classic, and your team gets ready to face the Miami University at Hamilton Harriers. But, Coach, before we get started on all that, I feel like it's important, and I know you do too, to kind of remind the people, especially our newer followers or viewers, to talk about who Julie Costello was and what a great tradition it's become to remember her through this Thanksgiving weekend showcase that you guys done, for over 20 years now.
Yeah, it's something that got started after Julie passed away. Julie was a graduate of Thomas More, a major part of our women's basketball program, passed away in the summer after her graduation, and just a great young lady. I personally did not know Julie. I watched Julie play when I was a student at Wilmington and studying those games, so the things that are said about Julie embodies everything that we want our students and our student athletes to be here at Thomas More. So being able to do this classic and be able to represent Julie every day on the floor, and we say an Irish blessing every day that we leave the court in her honor. It's really important to us. And I think one of the biggest things that you take away from it is, her teammates, our alumni, like Bridget New was at our Georgetown game on Saturday and was able to talk to her a little bit. And, she's like, Coach, I wish I could come up to the Classic on Thanksgiving weekend, but, just with family stuff, we're not able to. And, so that part of it, it's hard because of the timing, because everybody needs to spend time with the family, and we're sitting here playing to recognize and honor Julie. But we know our alums are out there, and they know who she was and what Julie was about, and we just hope that we can live that each day.
Yeah, and talk about that, man. That's part of what makes Thomas More such a special place, that, as a university and as an athletic department and even as a basketball program, you're trying to heighten your visibility and move on up the ladder, but you still never forget about the people like Julie Costello and her teammates that have laid the foundation. That's what I feel like is what's so special about that place.
Yeah, I think it's here, and you find any program that's had a long history of success, that's where it comes from. I mean, like now this team hasn't done anything yet. We're doing well so far this year, but we haven't done anything. Everything we have is because of those that came before us, and those that put the Thomas More jersey on every single day, and all the sweat and all the stuff that they went through, all the adversity that happens to prepare them to play games and put us in a situation where we have gear and able to travel the way we're able to travel. Those teams may not have been able to do some of that stuff, and that's just so you thank them every time that you can see them and you talk to the alumni, because we have things now that they didn't have, and we're going to have an alumni day later on, I think beginning of February, try to get everybody back. And so it just to be able to see and listen to stories, because that's what it's about. It's about the relationships that these guys make with each other and with the people that have been here before.
And, of course, the opponent coming up on day number 2 of the Classic for you guys is Miami Hamilton out of the USCAA. And, just kind of looking at their roster, if you follow the local basketball scene, you're going to know a lot of players, on their team, especially the Northern Kentucky contingent. You have a former Saints player in Abby Mahan. Jaden Chris played on a state championship team at Ryle, and then, Lacey Reinhardt and Sydney Lockhart from Dixie. So it's kind of nice to see those players, who are going to be playing above a level, obviously, than what they normally do, get a chance to, stay close to home and play in front of some friends and family right there at the Convocation Center. Easy for me to say.
Man, spit that out again, Brady.
No doubt.
Too much turkey, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. In advance, leftovers at this point.
Yeah, having Miami Hamilton and Ross come down here and play was big because they're able to play and their families are able to get up there to see them, and it's not too big of a drive on that, and that's why they're there. But here it's 10 minutes, it's 15 minutes, it's 5 minutes maybe for some of them. So to have that was important to us, to be able to get them here because Abby was here as a Saint. I mean, she wasn't able to come back on October 31st when we did the ring ceremony because of their practice, but she was here during the men's game, so we were able to give her a ring to her then. And and she didn't play much for us, but she was an important part of it. She's always a Saint. She's always a member of that team. So have her back in the building, and it's gonna be different. It's gonna be weird because we haven't had that too often. But those guys and being here to play, it's special. I mean, their families, maybe some family members that can't get up to Hamilton and watch them play, can get over here to see them play on a holiday weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And then to kind of switch gears just a little bit, it was announced recently that one of your current players, Maggie Jones, is going to have her jersey retired at her high school alma mater, Simon Kenton. I mean, she's in her third year of college, already getting her high school jersey retired. Did you remind her that that's something that, you got to be usually you're my age to have that stuff happen for you, right?
Yeah, I don't know what Coach Stowers is doing out there at Simon Kenton. That's it is early, and it's a tremendous honor for Maggie and her family. They all went through their played for Coach Stowers, and Brandon now is now the head coach there. So it's great for her. We will be out there in full force. We'll adjust our practice schedule so that we can get out there and support Maggie for that great recognition.
Well, maybe Coach Stowers is starting to soften now that he's in retirement, something that you and I don't have the opportunity to do. Coach, best of luck coming up here against Miami Hamilton.
Thanks, Brady. I appreciate you guys.
All set for Thomas More basketball action from the Connor Convocation Center. It's game 2 of day 2 of the 21st annual Julie Costello Memorial Classic presented by Barleycorns. It's Miami Hamilton Harriers coming into town to take on those number 1 ranked Thomas More Saints. Nate Metz, Brady Labor with you on the call. Brady, Thomas More with a chance to get to 8-0 with this win today. If they can put everything together correctly, they should see an opportunity to get some players in that maybe you don't see too often throughout the year.
But at the same time, you don't want to be at risk to overlook your opponent, and that's what they did. Did a great job up at Wilberforce. And that's the starters took care of business to allow that same situation to happen. And again, you cannot put yourself in a position. You got to respect your opponent. And Miami Hamilton has got a lot of players who've got a lot of things to prove to the Thomas More Saints.
That they do. A lot of local talent on that Miami Hamilton team as we look at their starting lineups right now, coached by Ross Tunyon. Send out Abby Mahan. That's one we're going to want to definitely keep an eye on. Brady, player from Ludlow High School, ended up coming over to Thomas More University and then ended up transferring to Miami Hamilton, where she'll get a start against her old team today.
Yeah, it'll be her first career start. She'll be in place of another local player who grew up, just a block or so away, as Abby Mahan gets the nice ovation from the crowd here. But Lacey Reinhardt out of Dixie Heights missing her 3rd straight game, and Abby Mahan getting a start in her place.
And over for Thomas More, coached by Jeff Hands. A lot of the usual. You got Riley Turner, Courtney Hurst, Zoe Barth, Emily Simon, and Rachel Martin. Those first 5 have to take care of business, Brady, early and try to put this game out of reach in the first 15 minutes or so.
Well, that's the task at hand, obviously, but easier said than done.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see if those starters are up to the challenge, because they're also playing, for their 2nd straight game, and Miami Hamilton is not. They're coming in with a little fresher legs.
We saw the men's basketball team take on Miami Hamilton earlier this year, Brady, and I don't want to say that the men's team overlooked their opponent in that situation, but it was a dogfight all the way to the end.
Right, for sure. And, and a big part of it was, they brought in a guy just like Abby Mahan's doing here for the women's team is they brought in a guy with a chip on his shoulder because he was in this program, didn't get the playing time he felt he deserved, and wanted to move on to a different opportunity in Ryan Marshall, and we'll see if that same thing happens here today.
Saints got an impressive win against Southeastern last night.
The Dixie Heights Colonels are in the house.
Oh, yeah,
right
they are.
Now.
They're pouring in.
With Sydney Lockhart actually being in the starting lineup. Of course, Lacey Reinhardt is not, but again, we talked about it, Dixie Heights just a few blocks away from this campus, so it's an easy trip for head coach Joel Stisnitsky, whose daughter Ella just announced that she's going to play college softball as opposed to basketball.
That's pretty exciting still. Just an opportunity to go on and play and further your athletic career.
She's like a 6-year starter for the high school team. Remember when she was coming up at Turkeyfoot Middle School, just also down the street.
10 minutes on the clock. Saints huddled up. They're wearing their blue uniforms today. The Harriers of Miami Hamilton University are rocking their black unis with the red numbers with Harriers across the chest.
Yeah. Of course, they're a satellite school of Miami University located in Hamilton. And right across the river from downtown Hamilton over there, kind of borders in on Lindenwold and Fairfield, if you're familiar with that area, right along the banks of the Great Miami River.
The Great Miami, as my grandmother would say.
Or Miami, depending upon your dialect of English.
Wyatt Heath out of Englewood, Ohio, is ready to jump against Riley Turner. And the Harriers will win the tip. Let's get after it in Game 2 of Day 2. For the Julie Costello Memorial Classic. Immediately a travel going to be called against Sydney Lockhart. Maybe getting a little too excited with the ball in her hand.
Well, most definitely. Lockhart was a player that got injured late in her high school career and, was originally committed to go to Kentucky Wesleyan, ended up going to Trevecca Nazarene before transferring into the Miami Hamilton program. And like I said, she's got a lot to play for here. One of these girls that are going to play with a chip on her shoulder.
Nice move from Riley Turner as the freshman gets him on the board first.
How about Thomas Moore going with the road blue uniforms here in the Julie Costello Classic? Man, those are sharp.
Back outside to Kinsey for the Harriers. Passes over to Heath. And a quick three from Mahan that's blocked on the outside. Immediately a basket and then a block for Riley Turner.
Yeah, it's too much length there for Turner. She goes in after that rebound and it's tipped into the hands of Heath. But keep an eye out for Shayla Heath and Avanya Kinsey. Those are the two players for Miami Hamilton that probably have the toughest matchup here for Thomas Moore to own up to.
That was a nice rebound from Heath, but you couldn't hold on to it as Zoe Barth has it now in transition.
Yeah, Heath, a Division II transfer, originally went to Urbana University, and when the school closed as an institution, she transferred to Lake Erie College and now is at Miami Hamilton. So this is her third school in 3 years by pretty much no fault of her own.
Yeah, really.
Just one of them unfortunate situations.
It's good to see her steps definitely still in the game.
We saw that with Gabby Suarez. Her first institution of higher learning ended up being foreclosed on and closing is Simon, no good. And it's rebounded by Lockhart. Oh, look at Martin.
So Martin trying to get it back for the Saints, but Mahan's going to bring it across the timeline.
Listen, most of Ludlow High School and the city of Ludlow, including their mayor, affectionately known Benny Cleary, in the house.
Foul's going to be called against Thomas Moore. You were talking a little about Benny Cleary in the game before, but for this audience that's tuned in, I'm sure they're going to know him a little bit more.
No, this guy, he's a stud, man, a living legend, and he had flowers for Abby Mahan's mom, who, of course, works as the secretary at the high school, working alongside a friend of the program, Corey Hightower. So, yeah, man, a lot of intermingling connections here with these two teams here.
Free throw on the way is no good, but it's a one-point contest early on for the Harriers, who are hanging with TMU through the first minute and change. Zoe Barth's got it. Started tightly on the perimeter. Barth back out to Hurst. Turner able to get by Mahan. She goes strong to the hole and scores.
Nice ball fake that brought Mahan out, the blow by, and then Lockhart was slow to rotate over on defense, and Turner gets the and one opportunity here.
Riley Turner. She's got all the points for Thomas Moore right now.
Certainly does. And, you know, freshman out of Newport Central Catholic, scored 2,000 points as a high school player.
She's got 5 already to start this game through 2 minutes. Abrabot passes ahead. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Harriers.
Like Locker dribbled it off the foot of Zoe Barth. As Thomas More showing some pressure there. That's what Thomas More wants to do. They want to speed up Miami Hamlin, not let them get in any kind of comfort zone here.
Mentioned Abrabot. She's up near my neighborhood, Brady, up in Westchester, Ohio. Went to Lakota West.
There's 3 West kids on the team, and of course their head coach, Ross Tunyon. He had a long time, he was on the staff at Lakota East over there in Liberty Township. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of local players, whether it be Northern Kentucky or in the Cincinnati area.
Quick 3 pulled up. Trifecta doesn't connect. It's going to be brought in by Barth, and she kicks it to Emily Simon. Now Hurst. She had 15 points yesterday. She'll give it to Turner for 3. And Riley Turner is certainly feeling it today. She's got all 8 points for Thomas More.
Precocious freshman out of Newport, Kentucky. Coming out hot here in the early going. It's Riley Turner 8, Miami Hamlin 1.
Now Lockard. To Abrabot for 3. No good. That was awfully long. It goes off of Mahan, and Thomas More gets it back.
Now Thomas More playing some good defense here, and Ross Tanyan going to go to his bench here. And I guess he didn't get the sub into the table in time, so they're going to have to wait.
Will be Juliana Kemper when she does get in. Zoe Barth got it. Ends up blowing by her opponent. It's rejected. A nice block from Aviana Kinsey out of Winton Woods.
Letting her know, too. Selling some wolf tickets right now.
Mahan will check out. As mentioned, Kemper will check in. Kemper out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Went to Lawrenceburg High School. They had a nice weekend,
yeah,
Brady.
I'll tell you what, they're the high school football team won the state championship yesterday up at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Congratulations to head coach Ryan Kaniga and his Tigers.
Foul going to be called against Lockard.
Central
again.
won against Roncalli in overtime, and that's their big rival. So Southeast Indiana representing strong up in Indianapolis. Both teams coming away with state championships. And, you know, with Lawrenceburg, they were moving up not just 1 level, but 2 levels up to 3A. So
they still got it done.
Pretty impressive for them.
Barth missing a 3. Riley Turner getting the offensive rebound.
Turner is playing like a person with her hair on fire right now, doing a great job.
Caitlin Simpkins is checked in for Miami Hamilton as Lockard's got 2 fouls. Courtney Hurst can't go, so apparently Riley Turner's the only one who can score early for Thomas More. Over to Kinsey, and it's stolen away. Rachel Martin on the fast break. Wide open for the mid-range jumper, and she misses, but Turner with another board. She's going to miss, and a rebound, I believe, for Kinsey to clear it.
I tell you what, Turner right now, I don't know where Thomas Moore would be without her. That pass was thrown right to Martin as if she was on their team and then just couldn't finish, but it was Riley Turner getting the rebound, just couldn't finish.
Suppose Thomas More be trailing 1-0.
And then she disturbs that shot attempt and gets the rebound.
That's 5 for her already in the first 4.5 minutes of action. Martin driving in on the left side. Gives back to Hurst, a wide open 3, off the mark, and a rebound for Kemper.
Subs waiting at the scoreboard, scores table for Thomas More, trying to probably give them some lift here. As other than Riley Turner, really a slow start offensively for the Saints.
Abrabot called for the travel, took a little extra step when trying to cut to the basket. So substitutions for Thomas More. We'll see a number of them, but you won't see them until after the break. Media timeout called. We'll head to our commercials on the Saints Sports Network.
So I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born, and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Saints are back out on the floor with the Miami Hamilton Harriers. Riley Turner staying in. It's been all Riley Turner early on, Brady. 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks in the first 5 minutes of game play.
Well, she's 1 point and 1 block away from reaching career highs in her young career here. That's only in her 7th game, but Riley Turner has really done well here for Thomas More in her young career. True freshman out of Newport, Kentucky.
There's a nice move as Zoe Barth gets it from Kelly Brenner for the basket.
Obviously, that's a play called out of the timeout there where they get Zoe Barth off the ball. She slashes the basket. Brenner recognizes it, and then it's a layup line after that.
Nice move. Kinsey dishing it to the low block for Kemper.
Yeah, that's the first field goal made by Miami Hamilton, and it's 5.5 minutes into the game.
Missed shot from Alex Smith, who's checked in along with Maggie Jones and the aforementioned Kelly Brenner. Barth and Turner are the only 2 starters still out there for TMU as Turner gets her 3rd block. There you have it, Brady.
Man, incredible. That length there that Turner provides. And she was kind of brought here as more of a perimeter player, but, you know, out of necessity is playing down low, but she's very versatile, can do it all. Pretty much can play positions 2 through 5, both offensively and defensively.
Now Alex Smith with under 10 to shoot gets it out to Barth, and Zoe Barth was a little long on that one. It goes out of bounds off Alex Smith. And Thomas More have to hustle back on defense.
A missed shot there by Barth, and they just couldn't get the rebound offensively. Miami Hamilton a bit out of sorts here. Thomas More defense has played very well. They just struggled on the offensive end.
Simpkins brings it across at a Little Miami High School.
Yeah, the Vikings, man, out of Mainville.
Now Kinsey gives to Amrabat. And Simpkins from 3. Oh, that one well up the mark.
Somebody, I saw them. Here they come. They swung the front door open. That was them.
A little draft of wind.
That happens, man.
Blew that some.
Watch out, man. A little oxygen action.
Saints with Maggie Jones. Simon Kenton product, gives it over to Zoe Barth. Barth weaving through defenders and heaves it back to Kelly Brenner. Now Smith, back to Barth, 10 to shoot. And it's intercepted by Kinsey.
Kinsey did a great job of getting in the passing lane, and now they convert, and yes, she does.
Kinsey bringing some energy.
Kinsey, the team's leading scorer, as you said earlier, out of Winton Woods, played for the Warriors and Coach Carlton Gray.
Zoe Barth answers back, picks up the phone, dials up a triple order. Ring, ring, Brady Leba.
Indeed. That was just what you need there. After committing the turnover on the previous trip, she makes up for it with a made 3-point basket.
Now a try, a violent effort from Heath as she just works her way to the basket and gets fouled to go to the free throw line.
Yeah, Heath is a dialed-in scorer, shooting almost 63% from the floor so far in the young season, averaging 9 points and 4 rebounds. It's a 3-time All-GWAC player up at Dayton Northmont. Like I said, a well-traveled player, and she was a big-time addition to the Miami Hamilton roster in the offseason.
Can't connect on that first free throw. Miami Hamilton opting to send 3 players back. No sense in even trying for that offensive rebound. And hey, it worked out because she hits the second try.
Yeah, for sure there. Heath, an 83% free throw shooter. That also might have been part of it as well.
Yeah, really.
He said she's wired to score is Heath.
Emily Simon on the perimeter. And kept quiet so far today. Under 2 to go in quarter number 1. 7-point ball game.
Right now that Miami Hamilton bench is pretty energized right now. They brought quite a number of folks here that are on this side. And now Jones, she did get it off in time, but it rattles out, Nate.
Simpkins now to bring it across. You're right, Brady.
And then the Thomas More fans are sitting on their hands right now.
Quite nothing to get excited about. That was something.
Sometimes you just gotta be the one sometime to bring the energy. You need to be that sixth man as a fan. And that's exactly what the Miami Hamilton crowd's doing. And that's going to be an offensive foul. And that was Zoe Barth who took that charge as Kemper gets whistled for it.
So Thomas More with Zoe Barth heading to the bench for Courtney Hurst. Have it with 1:24 to go, and what's been a closer game than a lot of Saints fans probably expected, but
got to respect your opponent, Nate.
Exactly. Maggie Jones.
I'm not saying that the Saints players didn't respect their opponent. Maybe the fans did.
That very well could be the case, too. Jones out to Smith, and now Hurst. Hurst, the long two, no good. Rebounded by Kemper. I like that rebounding effort by Kemper to go up with one hand, slap the other one on, and secure that basketball.
Chin it, make sure it doesn't get taken away from you. Now you got to score on the other end, and they do. And that's Simpkins who knocks it down.
Very quick trigger on that long two-pointer.
Simpkins, a transfer out of Wilmington College, the alma mater of head coach Jeff Hands.
Maggie Jones. Now Kelly Brenner, 12 to shoot for Thomas More. Back to Smith, who's wide open. Acres and acres around her, and Thomas More still can't figure it out. It goes out of bounds, I guess, off of Miami Hamilton. Thomas More with a second chance.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for Riley Turner, who's not out there now, where would Thomas More be right now?
It would not be probably a winning effort at the moment. 9 minutes into this game. It'll be Maggie Jones. 2 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Now wide open, Emily Simon, who can't hit. Rebounded by Kinsey. Last shot coming for Miami Hamilton. Simpkins decides to call her own number. She misses, but a good first quarter for Miami Hamilton, who have nothing to be ashamed about at the moment. It's 13-8, Thomas More after 10 minutes. Brady and I are back after this break for the second quarter on the Saints Sports Network.
Good.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh boy.
We just found it.
Oh.
Our back and forth.
No, Daddy.
Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad!
Whoa!
You made time.
That was perfect.
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me.
Nice.
But I heard every word.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
10 minutes on the clock. Second quarter just about ready to go. Brady Thomas More, only 2 scorers in that first quarter. Zoe Barth and Riley Turner. got to credit the Harrier defense for keeping Thomas More out of their rhythm.
Yeah, for sure. And, they've hung around, have the Harriers, and right now Thomas Moore's going to have to figure it out without Turner or Barth on the floor right now. No, credit goes definitely to Miami Hamilton. They came out ready to go in this one, played a strong first 10 minutes, and now Thomas More is going to have to, counterpunch right now. I mean, I know Thomas Moore's leading by 5 or whatever it is, but definitely not what you'd expected.
A shot made by Alex Smith. Maybe the lid's off the bucket now.
That's a good start here to this second quarter. If you're a Thomas More fan at Miami Hamilton, see if they can take this initial surge.
Be a kick out to Aberbot, who's wide open for 3, and she'll miss. Rebounded by Courtney Hurst. Thomas Moore's got to get someone out there in front of her. Be Brenner. Now Smith. $15 to shoot for Thomas More. Saints looking for someone toward the basket. Can't find anyone. 8 seconds now. Maggie Jones. Someone's going to have to put up a shot. It'll be Emily Simon, who can't get it to go. Great defense by the Harriers as Kinsey looks at her bench and hypes him up a bit.
That's a second block shot for Kinsey, and they've tried to challenge her, and she has been up to the task. Cavani Kinsey. Right now, Thomas More is struggling to figure out answers there. They are struggled in the half court. That time they couldn't even get a shot off.
It'll be Mahan. To Kinsey on the baseline. Oh, the no-look pass goes through the hands of Simpkins, and it's Thomas Moore's ball. Good look from Kinsey. Thought also she might have been able to go strong to the basket and make it a 6-point game.
Right, exactly. But Thomas Moore's, they've been playing good defense, at least in our opinion, my opinion. I'll speak for myself. But right now, it's the offensive end of the floor that's been giving the team some woes right now. But a good move there by Simon, and she's able to finish.
She gets her first basket of the day. And Thomas More, at the moment, shooting 7 for 23. Just under 30%. Now Kemper. He's back to Simpkins. And now Mahan working on her former teammate, Courtney Hurst. She scores, but no, they're going to wave it off. It's an offensive foul call.
Come on, Abby Mahan. You know what Emily Simon does. She takes charges. And that's her first one here today. She took a charge yesterday, Nate, and didn't even leave the floor. I was a bit disappointed in that, although it still counted as a charge.
It's against brand, right?
It goes against everything I thought she stood for. But no, good job by Emily Simon, man. She's just fantastic. And, Coach commented in the postgame about, how hard she has worked to try to build her strength in the offseason, because she knew that she was going to have to go pretty much back down on the post with the graduation of Alexa Chrisman. And with some freshmen coming in that you weren't really sure you could count on 1,000%. And there's a nice move there, a little up and under in a bucket.
Juliana Kemper with that basket for the Harriers. 8-point game. It's Rachel Martin. And Alex Smith from way out there off the back of the rim. Courtney Hurst gets the offensive board.
I don't know if you can consider that a heat check or not, because she hadn't made a shot yet. You got to be in some sort of rhythm in order to take a heat check, right? Oh, nice move. Can't finish. And right now, it's like Coach said yesterday, just tough when you can't make shots.
And Alex Smith, she did hit 1 3 earlier, but 1 for 4 right now.
But still, that doesn't give you the green light there.
Not from that
28
distance.
feet.
Yeah, really. Thomas More gets the defensive rebound.
From the volleyball line, Nate.
It'll be Brenner lobbing it. I think that ball's going to go all the way to the Little Miami River. Way out of here. Another turnover for Thomas More.
To get past the Ohio River to get there, Nate.
That's how far she threw it.
I think it's closer to the Licking River.
There you go. That's
as far as proximity to the Connor Convocation Center. Or as you call it simply, the CCC.
The CCC.
Since I struggled to say it in my pregame talk with Coach. He correctly accused me of having too much turkey, and that would be accurate.
That's on a weekend like this, I'm all right with that. Here's Kinsey out to Mahan, who steps back, and she can't hit off of her old basket. Thomas More with a chance to make it a 10-point game. Maybe even more if Barth knocks this down, and she does.
Play a little string music, a little wide open. Everybody in the gym saw that one coming.
Thomas More, actually their assist-to-turnover ratio, not terrible early on. 5 assists to 3 turnovers.
Right, they're just not making shots consistently.
Mahan pulls up and misses badly from
I
3.
think Abby Mahan might be forcing a little bit here, trying to make a statement. Just let the offense come to you.
And Courtney Hurst wakes up with her first long ball.
There you go. How about that? That forces a turnover or a timeout. Pardon my misspeaking there, but a good job there as Thomas Moore's offense starting to find that rim a little bit more friendly, especially when you just rattle in, don't even touch the rim on your shots. That's a good thing there. That's 2 back-to-back threes. Good job there for the Saints. Thomas, your 2 senior shooting leaders there in Barth and Hurst.
Got to get him going at some aspect of the game, and the Saints now lead by 14. Thomas More, 5 of 16 from deep, shooting 32% overall. Miami Hamilton 0 for 8 from downtown. You're right, Bray. I feel like some of those threes have been a little bit forced. I know you mentioned Abby Mahan, one of the guilty parties of that, but this Miami Hamilton team, they got to go back to what was working earlier.
Well, and Thomas Moore's defense is also doing a good job closing out, and forcing, contested looks from the perimeter. So, I mean, a big part of it is Thomas Moore's defense allowing that to happen. But Miami Hamilton has to figure out a way to have better shot selection. Maybe swing it to the other side. Just because that shot looks available doesn't mean you're necessarily open when you got, long perimeter players, perimeter defenders, and they can close out well.
Thomas More also with 5 offensive rebounds compared to 0 for Miami Hamilton. So
TMU, that's all Riley Turner.
It really is. Yeah.
I mean, and of course, she's not really gonna play a ton of minutes for you. I mean, they just keeping with the rotation as far as she's gonna start, get some minutes in the early going, and then that second unit comes out with more, veteran players. She's not going to stay out there all that long, but she's back in now, and we'll see if, the good fortune can continue for her because, that's the one thing about freshman players. A lot of times they're inconsistent, and so far Turner has been more consistent than most. How about Thomas More slapping the press on, and it's Turner with the deflection and a layup on the run out.
A career high in the early start for Riley Turner.
First double-digit performance of her young career.
Very nice job for her. She's got 6 rebounds go along with it as this is a 3 pulled up from Kemper. It's off the mark.
She's not far away from that high as well. She had 8 against Wilberforce last week. Or was that this week? How do you say that? This week, last week?
I'd say this
Holiday
week.
Weekends, it's tough to realize what day it is. That was earlier in this week as today is Saturday.
Back on Tuesday, yep.
For those folks that are keeping track at home.
Nice pass from Barth to Hurst. How many times have you said that before?
I mean, the cut to the basket and the recognition by the person passing the ball is a big part of that. Good hard cut and a nice entry pass there in stride to lay it in.
Now Simpkins working up to Mahan. Mahan passing to the low post. He finds Heath, and Heath going to go back to the free throw line after getting fouled on that shot attempt.
They call the foul on Hurst.
Her first foul.
Yeah. Now we're going to see our first look at Madison Vickers.
Mahan also out for Miami Hamilton. Amberbot checks back in.
And Vickers coming in, and I think her game might be a little bit more suited on this level to be, out on the perimeter as a guard. But, Coach Hans has been playing her more down in the block as a backup for Emily Simon, and she has answered the call.
Free throws are good. Madison Vickers, you're right. She's had many more opportunities this year, and it doesn't seem like she's let anyone down at the moment.
Miami Hamilton puts the press on, and Thomas More is able to beat it relatively easy. Well, that's a dangerous pass there. I thought Lockhart was going to get in the passing lane and intercept it.
Lockhart, remember, she's got 2 fouls already in the game. 5 seconds to shoot for Barth. Barth has to negotiate back to Martin, who heaves up a prayer, and it's no good, but a rebound from Riley Turner.
Another offensive rebound for Riley Turner.
That's her third of the game, and she's got another basket. 12 points for Riley Turner.
Just incredible how Riley Turner has carried Thomas More here in this first half on the offensive end, and has also done great things defensively as well. She might get another one there.
Looked like she might have had a steal, but saved by Miami Hamilton, and then Heath missing from the elbow.
This press has really sped up Miami Hamilton, and they can't get a made basket in order to put their press on. Now, that there might have been a heat check, but a great offensive board there for Martin. Can't finish. And the Harriers going to come away with it, Nate.
Yeah, usually it's the other way around, right? You got Riley Turner getting the offensive board. That time, though, Martin getting the second try.
Yeah, that might have been a bit of a heat check there by the freshman, but when you're playing in rhythm like she is, it's not a bad thing to have that kind of confidence. Oh, and a great outlet pass. Wes Unseld style, that outlet there. I know we've had this discussion before, Nate, that you did not know at one point who Wesley Unseld was.
That is
But
correct.
he perfected that two-hand outlet pass over the head, and that's just impressive. Old school move there by Riley Turner.
Use every bit
to
of
love it.
Got to get it down the court.
Got to love it.
Abrabot going up, strong and in. Nice move from her.
That's a great way to kind of stop the bleeding there for Miami Hamilton. But look at Thomas More trying to speed things up there, forcing the Harriers to get back on defense quickly here in the half court. And now it's Barth drawing the foul.
Simpkins, the one who got caught hacking, puts Barth on the free throw line for a pair.
Nate, did we miss our media timeout, by the way? I think I better get out of here before I decide to not screw this up.
Yeah, I was going to say, not sure. Not sure. Well,
you're supposed to be driving this boat, and I'm going to eject.
And I just run with the officials. So we'll just go from there. Brady going to have an interview with Coach Hans going into the locker room as Zoe Barth knocks in her first free throw. Really cool angle of what we've been able to do on the Saint Sports Network. Getting Brady down the sidelines, be it in football when it's freezing cold outside and he can deal with the elements, or here in the Connor Convocation Center where the elements are significantly more friendly. Heath from the free throw line will miss. The rebound will go to Vickers. Now a three from Hurst. That's no good. Rattles in and out. Kinsey's going to push the tempo. Kinsey with the Euro step, knocked out of her hands, but Abrabot picks it up, slides it in. 15-point game. Thomas More still with a significant advantage. Maybe not as much as the Saints faithful would expect, as Hurst gets an open look at the hoop, and she knocks down the easy layup. No one impeding her. She's got 7 points now, to go along with a couple of assists, a couple of rebounds, and 2 steals for Courtney Hurst, too. Now Heath, power dribbling, going up strong, and in. Nice move to get the and one chance. Heath picking it up for Miami. Miami Hamilton's number 24, now with 5 points today. She'll have a chance for 6 if she can knock in this free throw. Jenna Lillard will check in. Lockard also out for Miami Hamilton. So we'll get a chance to see Mary Schenkel for the first time. Schenkel out of Seton High School. That's a free throw made from Heath. Now Maggie Jones for Thomas More. Pass over to Hurst for 3. That's good. Courtney Hurst definitely heating up. Now Heath. Skip pass out to the corner. Abrabot for 3, and that's a little too strong. Lillard ends up getting the rebound in front of Brady Labor. Brady, are you ready for that one?
Absolutely. I was in the triple threat position, or I was going to just do the Olay move, so I didn't get struck by not one but 2 of them.
Either option would have worked, I suppose. This goes out to Courtney Hurst. Uh-oh, is she feeling it? Oh, just off the rim, but an offensive rebound by Alex Smith. Now has Thomas More doubling the scoring output of Miami Hamilton. 35 seconds to go. Harriers get it over to Schenkel. Now Heath. Working on Smith. Heath Trying not to be denied, but Smith gets the rebound, and Thomas More can hold for the final shot of the quarter. Zoe Barth has it. 7 seconds to go. Barth in the lane. Offensive foul call. So 3.7 seconds left. Maybe Miami Hamilton gets a heave. All parties at that end of the gym be ready. Brady, that includes you.
I got my hands up.
Yep, you're heading to swivel, man. You got it. See what they can do with 3.7 seconds officially. Simpkins looks to inbound. She'll find Abrabat. Abrabat from half court. Well short. And at the end of the second quarter, going to halftime with a Thomas More 38, Miami Hamilton 19. Brady Labor, as always during these home games, has an opportunity to catch up with Coach Hands before they go into the locker room. Brady, all you, my man.
Coach, it looked like in the early going, your defense kind of kept you in it when the shots weren't falling, and the offense kind of kicked in the second quarter. What are your thoughts?
I thought we were rushing it a lot on the offensive end. We want to walk into screens and no pace to set that, but then, my God, as soon as we catch the ball, we want to go 200 miles an hour. No Camaros go that fast. Corvettes don't go that fast. Maybe a jet, but that's about it. But then we got into some composure and had some rhythm. Zoe got a rhythm three. Courtney got a rhythm three. That last one Courtney made was a rhythm one. They're down there on that end in front of their defense, their bench. They got some good energy, so that got us rattled a little bit.
Yeah, and Riley Turner, the freshman, certainly got off to a great start for you guys. You got to like the way she played in that first half.
Yeah, she played well, especially early on. Got an and one, I think, out of it, and a couple offensive boards, but also defensively kept us, like you said earlier, kept us in it because the way we rotate and the help side, she was there to block some shots and get some deflections.
All right, Coach, best of luck in the second half.
Thanks, Brady.
Nate, back to you, my friend.
Thanks, Brady, and thank you to everyone who's tuned in to this broadcast presentation of NAIA basketball, coming to you on day 2 of the Julie Costello Memorial Classic, the 21st annual one, presented by Barleycorns. We're going to send it to a timeout, and when Brady and I come back, we've got some halftime stats for you. We've got all sorts of fun stuff ready on the Saints Sports Network when we return.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet?
Why?
Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the cats go on vacation?
New York.
Back to it here on the Saints Sports Network. Nate Metz and Brady Labor with you on it for half number 2. Thomas More up 38-19. Brady, Thomas More's defense able to hold the Harriers to 0 of 10 shooting from beyond the arc in half number 1. Got to see more of that if Thomas More wants to get to stay undefeated.
Defense was not the issue for the Saints in the first half. It was the offensive execution or lack thereof at times. And, they allowed themselves to get speeded up a little bit too much as Jeff Hands talked about in our halftime interview. But, the freshman Riley Turner really did a great job for him there in that first half. 12.7 rebounds, 3 of which were offensive. And she had 3 block shots as well. So she did it on both ends of the floor. And you got to love that out of a freshman. And, of course, Courtney Hurst and Zoe Bart, when the offense got settled in, eventually got theirs, 10 for Hurst, 9 for Barth. But, that's the thing. Offensively is what Thomas More needs to improve on here in the second half, believe it or not, even though they have a 19-point lead.
Kinsey's got it for the Harriers. We talked to Coach Hands before they went to the locker room. He talked about rhythm and how Thomas More has to find a way to get more of those in-rhythm shots because obviously success happened when they were able to do so.
Yeah, for sure, and it was because, they were out of sorts, out of rhythm, and a part of that was the energy that Miami Hamilton brought here because they came in here in a situation where they had nothing to lose, right? And, of course, now they put a press on here, and they're trying to do the same thing once again. Of course, but Thomas More beats it and turns it into more of token pressure.
Now Barth working against Mahan. Kinsey defending Martin. 10 seconds to shoot for Thomas More. Rachel Martin going nowhere with Kinsey in front of her. She's going to lose it. 2 seconds left. Hurst puts up the prayer, and it rims in and out.
Well, Martin lost it because Sydney Lockert knocked it out of her hands. Martin was able to recover just in time for Thomas More to get a shot at the end of the timer, but it does not go in.
Oh, Mahan
ends up over and back.
Yeah, ends up losing it.
Oh, wow.
Guess they're not.
Wow, that was dribbled off of Mahan's foot. That's a break for Miami Hamilton. Well, Chris Van Hoos was standing right there, and he missed that call.
So the Saints end up giving up 2 points. Nice job by Locker to make him pay.
Yeah, and that's what, sometimes you create your own luck. You got to take advantage of those kind of things if you're Miami Hamilton.
Zoe Barth gives to Simon. Simon with a nice move. She's going to be fouled and head to the free throw line.
Looks like Mahan's going to be whistled for the foul.
Emily Simon in this game. Just 2 points for her to go along with 4 rebounds.
Is it time for me to finally, talk about college football, Nate?
At this point, I think it is, Brady.
Well, it's a final up in Columbus in Michigan with fourth quarter touchdown runs of 75 followed by 85.
Oh, man.
Scored 21 fourth quarter points and end up beating the Buckeyes to the Wolverines 45-23. Are they going to fire the defensive coordinator again this year in Columbus?
That is well above my pay grade.
Well, it was all put at the feet of Kerry Combs last year. And who's the one that they're going to want their pound of flesh? And I can't wait to go back to the brain trust and find out who is the one that's going to pay with their job this year.
Safely south of the Ohio River. No need to worry about that as Kinsey gets a couple of boards, and she finds herself getting another basket.
Yeah, second opportunity, and Kinsey has done a really good job here. She's the team's leading scorer and rebounder, obviously, too. So doing a great job keeping the Harriers in this one.
Emily Simon back to Hurst, who catches it and misses off to the right.
Great block out there by Shayla Heath there. And then look at Martin just harass Lockert, and now a kick ball. And that is going to stay with Miami Hamilton. But how about Rachel Martin just being a pest there? Harassing the ball handler. It's Sydney Lockert, pardon me. But really, the energy in the building is coming from Miami Hamilton, even though they're down by 17.
They still want to fight.
They look like they have more fans in the crowd.
It's a lot of red here.
A lot of red here, and that includes the Dixie Heights girls basketball team. And, they have 2 alumni on the roster. And look at Martin on the other end, trying to quiet him down here. And now the blue-clad fans starting to show their energy.
And without the students here during Thanksgiving weekend, as Zoe Barth picks the pocket of her opponent, Abribat. And then loses it.
A collision there in the middle of the floor, no call. And there's one there, and they're going to have to call a charge on Abby Mahan. Great job by Rachel Martin just digging in and taking one.
Rachel Martin able to
Mahan
stay brave.
That's going to be 3 on Mahan. There's Mahan from Ludlow High School, helped lead her school to a pair of 9th region tournament appearances in a time where that just didn't happen down there in Ludlow. And then the next group that came in with Jenna Lillard. I think Jenna Lillard was like a freshman or a sophomore on those teams.
Okay.
And then when she became a senior, she led them. Of course, with their head coach, Aaron Stam, who's now the boys coach for Ludlow.
Friend of us over here at Thomas More University.
He runs the bookstore over here after a long, successful career at Eggleston Manor. And how about the iron being kind and a kiss off the banking board for Courtney Hurst.
Courtney Hurst, 10 points now tonight. It's going to be Kinsey. And now Heath on the second try. Kinsey saves it, though. Good work from her.
Kinsey has really showed me a lot here in this game as Heath has it knocked away by Hurst. And here comes Martin, and it's a race to the rim, and she'll get some help. And right back to her, Nate.
Great unselfish play as Thomas More now up by 24.
Well, Zoe Barth recognized that was all on Rachel Martin and wanted to reward her at the end.
It's kind of like paying it forward and then paying it forward again.
That's right. Little two-person fast break there, and that's Kemper laying it up and in. That snaps a long drought there as far as Miami Hamilton scoring-wise goes.
They definitely needed something, as it'll be Hurst bouncing to Barth. Now Barth from three. No good. Kemper, the long arm going up and getting that rebound for Kemper. That's rebound number 5 on the afternoon, as Heath pulls up from mid-range, and she can't hit. Barth will bring it down the court. Now, you talked about Ohio State losing earlier, Brady. As a Columbus native, Emily Simon has it. I can't imagine losing to Michigan 2 years in a row sits right with anyone.
Well, you don't remember the John Cooper years.
Yeah, you're right. I don't. Yeah. But with that, I mean, Ohio State had beaten them so many times in a row.
That's right.
It was becoming a big.
This is the first time since the John Cooper era is there as Kemper once again that Ohio State lost at home to Michigan. And, you know, there's people trying to run off Jim Harbaugh away from his job at Michigan. And he's got 2 straight wins against Ohio State. I think his price tag just went up.
Yeah, I'd say so. And with
he's a Michigan man.
Yeah,
a proud guy. And I know he's a bit much to take at times, but let's face it, high-level coaches, that's kind of what you sign up for, right?
For that pressure that you get thrown on you, absolutely.
And it takes a guy with that kind of mindset to be able to handle that.
Now out to Kemper for the long. Oh, they called that a 3, but it's going to be off anyway.
That was almost a wedgie. That was, Nate.
That's right, with the ball gets stuck between the rim and the backboard. Made famous by Ian Eagle. Am I right?
Oh, wow. Just driving down the boulevard there. Nobody got in the way. The Red Sea parted, and Emily Simon almost was startled. She was so wide open. And now head coach Ross Tunyon, he's got to get his defense organized.
We will take a media timeout and be back here after a minute on the Saints Sports Network.
Good.
I don't remember how it started.
Throw it to that.
Oh boy.
We just found it.
Oh.
Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad!
Whoa!
You made time.
That was perfect.
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me.
Nice.
But I heard every word.
Back to it here on the Saints Sports Network. Thomas More up 22 on Miami Hamilton. As the Harriers definitely holding Thomas More to a better output than they did back in 2019. Obviously totally different teams. But in that game, Thomas More ended up setting a record for the Julie Costello Memorial Classic and points scored in a game, 121.
Right. Well, and this current group doesn't have that kind of firepower on the offensive end. And how about Sydney Locker following somebody else's shot? Goes right into her hands and lays it up and in. got to find somebody to block out. Thomas More didn't do it that time down the court.
Lee Barth. Yeah, Brady, you were saying about how Thomas More, not quite the same firepower that they did back then when it ended up being a national championship team on the Division III level.
That's
that
right.
season, I believe.
Yeah, he still had Madison Temple back at that point. He was a dynamic scorer, could get hers from all three levels.
Good rebound by Emily Simon.
National Player of the Year.
That's a foul going to be called.
Then he had a low post presence in Emily Schultz, Shelby Rupp. I think this is going to be your immediate timeout, my friend, because that first one was a coach's called timeout. They call that the floater in the business.
And with that, we can take another siesta. Brady and I are back.
A floating
here
siesta.
After this.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Back to it on the Saints Sports Network for the fourth game now in total of the 21st Annual Julie Costello Memorial Classic presented by Barleycorns. Barleycorns, get over here. Ball goes out of bounds. Maggie Jones reached up for it, goes over her head, and that's a turnover for Thomas More.
Yeah, that was a sideline-to-sideline pass coming in hot and too tall there for Jones to handle. Plus, Sydney Locker, the defender, was barreling down on her as well. I think Jones might have heard some footsteps.
Abribot gives over to Kemper. Kemper with a nice move. Can't hit with the left hand, though. And Emily Simon able to clear away another rebound for her total. Zoe Barth. A couple of shooters out there for Thomas More. Maggie Jones with it now. She's got it open from three. You got to pull up, and she can't connect. Kemper with another board for her. She's definitely leading the... Oh, she's not actually leading the rebounding charge. Kinsey's got 8 compared to Kemper's 7.
Both of them crashing the boards well. Now let's see what Heath can do, and it's blocked by Smith.
Alex Smith, someone who had a little injury trouble earlier on in the year as she gives it off to Hurst, who misses the 3. But she's been seeing an uptick in her time.
Yeah, and I just think Coach just, oh, what a move there by Lockhart.
A little hesitation, step for 2.
Her high school teammate who's not playing here today, Lacey Reinhardt, jumped up off the bench, doing a great job. When Dixie Heights won the 9th Region tournament 2 years ago as Jones can't make it, that was a situation where Dixie Heights was probably the 3rd best team in the region, but it was those 2 kids, 2 seniors, who refused to let their team lose. Sydney Lockhart, Lacey Reinhardt. It's a shame Reinhardt, who's missed her 3rd straight game, can't suit up for this one because she would make a difference here for the Harriers.
Be a pass to Smith, give the assist to Jones.
Thomas More running the floor, filling them passing lanes. As right now, thinking maybe Miami Hamilton might be running out of gas here.
It'll be Lockard. Gives to Simpkins, and Zoe Barth ends up getting a little too aggressive on that dive for the basketball. That'll be
it's on Barth.
For her 2nd foul of the game. Simon and Hurst head to the bench. Lillard and Brenner are in. And for Miami Hamilton, get a chance to see Emma Miller. First time I think we get to see her today out of Oak Hills High School over on the west side.
That's right. She played for Chris Gramke, who was an assistant coach on the same staff with Brian Neal under Nancy Wenstall for that 2000 National Championship team, Division II for the Norse.
Turnaround jumper for Heath. That's a little shy. 9th rebound of the game for Kinsey as she gets fouled and will go to the line for a couple.
Of course, the year before, the 2000 team at Northern Kentucky, they made an Elite 8 appearance and made it to the national semifinals as well. That was a really good group. Sheltuke Farmer was the point guard of that team, or is the shooting guard on that team.
Sammy Whiteman comes in for Thomas More. Whiteman.
Katie Kelsey was the point guard on that team.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. The best player in all-time history of Northern Kentucky was on that team out of Boone County. I'm going to name every bit of her resume except her first and last name. I even know her married name. It's Marston. She married Scott Marston. Michelle Cottrell. Yes, Michelle Cottrell. That was her name.
I had a timer on you. That was
Yes.
4.3 seconds per
I'm
game.
ashamed.
That's
I
not much
should
of a
know better.
lapse, though.
She is the only retired jersey at Northern Kentucky for men's or women's basketball. Number 22.
That is truly
Michelle
impressive.
Cottrell. Boy, she was a special player.
Be Brenner from 3. That one a little bit long. Good job by Miller to save it along with Kinsey. And the Harriers looking to make it maybe a 18-point contest going into the fourth quarter. 9 seconds to go. It's Schenkel giving to Miller. And now Simpkins from way out there. It's way away as it goes out of bounds at the end of the third quarter. With the score, Thomas More 51. Miami Hamilton 31. Brady and I are back for more. It's fourth quarter to close out the Julie Costello Memorial Classic after this.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know. Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Ready for the fourth quarter of the final game of the Julie Costello Memorial Classic. Nate Metz and Brady Labor with you on this call. Hopefully comprehensive and stellar broadcast.
Or just make a bunch of stuff up because facts are optional too.
Yes.
When you're not comprehensive.
Yeah, we just totally throw darts at the wall, if you will.
Caution to the wind.
Thomas More up by 20. They're looking probably, Brady, with conference play right around the corner, to have a strong fourth quarter, have some momentum going into that next game.
That's for sure, and you think 51 points, would be something that you like out of a team after 3 quarters, but man, Thomas More is just trying to find an identity on offense, trying to get a rhythm, as Coach talked about. Their defense has done really well. They just got to find some sort of flow on offense, and, he's going to have some 5 bench players to try to help him figure it out here.
Be Kelly Brenner, Jenna Lillard starting this quarter out. Brenner catching it a little bit low, not able to get into rhythm for a 3. 12 seconds to shoot for Whiteman. He's working on Miller. Good defense overall by the Harriers, but Whiteman ends up cutting in and scoring.
Great job there by Whiteman. Kind of just flung it up over her shoulder there when she got off balance. And she's a finisher, man. She's not a three-point shooter. She is more of an in-between game. Getting downhill on that one, finishing strong at the rack.
3 coming from Kinsey. That's not going to go. Rebounded by Miller. How about Emma Miller coming in, getting some quality minutes, and then gives it away, unfortunately for her, to Alex Smith. Now Maggie Jones working on Schenkel. Schenkel went to Seton.
Yeah, she was teammates with Hallie Morgan.
That's right, for Thomas More.
The Seton Saints, that is located literally next door to Elder High School.
Nice give and go. You got Brenner slinging it in and getting it to Smith, who jets to the basket for a couple.
Of course, Morgan and Schenkel played for head coach Amanda Lewis there in the GCL Girls League.
Nice basket made by Simpkins.
Good job there by Simpkins. Talked about her earlier, playing at Little Miami. She was the SWAC Player of the Year, Southwest Ohio Conference, if you want to be specific. That was back in 2019.
Maggie Jones got it now. Yes, Simpkins with 4 points today. 6 points today. What's the stats update? That's a good bucket for TMU.
Little victory roll there and a fall through for Brenner, showing that he's not just a three-point specialist.
Brenner applying some defense, and a 3 hit right in her face. That's Marie Schenkel for the triple.
Take that. Just 4 of 13 on the season on three-point land, and just buries one in the bottom of the sack.
There's Maggie Jones out of Piner, Kentucky. So get it into Smith.
Glad you didn't call it Pinner.
Nope, I got Piner. Under 10 seconds to shoot as Smith will go to the free throw line for a few. Alex Smith, also a Cincinnati girl with Mercy McCauley.
And that's over there on the west side as well. Of course, that was when McCauley merged with Mother of Mercy High School. And, of course, Mother of Mercy and Seton were always the ones that were competing for the same girls in that little neighborhood. And McCauley was like kind of like the brother-sister, as far as the non-co-ed schools that was teamed up with LaSalle over there kind of more in Colerain Township.
That free throw's good from Smith. Nice trip to the line for her. Yeah, it's a tough game, when you're competing for all those kids in those parish groups.
Yeah, especially when you're heavily dependent upon tuition payments and that kind of thing. Oh, wow. Great job there by Kemper. Getting in the passing lane. Smith forces the jump ball to salvage it for Thomas More. And it's going to go to Miami Hamilton, but a great job there by Kemper defensively.
Really impressed by Kemper in this one. Kemper, 6 points for her, so not really lighting it up.
She's listed at 5'9", Nate. She appears to be longer than that.
Yeah, I agree.
She got shortchanged there on the measuring tape.
Simpkins out of the money. Now Whiteman in traffic, just going to saddle it down. Probably a wise move there from the transfer out of Trevecca Nazarene.
And this is where you want to try to get some flow into your offense here. Even if this is the reserve unit, I mean, these guys are, bidding for playing time as well.
Good rebound for Emma Miller for the Harriers. Good move to bounce to the low post and a nice basket for Schenkel.
Schenkel pin, man. Little crossover there, or crossover by Miller, and gets it to Schenkel. Two players that really didn't play a whole lot here until late in the contest.
It'll be Jones on the far side. Screen set from Lillard. Under 10 to go.
Good pick and roll. They just missed Lillard. Looked like she was open.
3 seconds to go. Whiteman fading from the hoop and still scores.
Nate, that's that in-between game that we talk about with Sammy Whiteman. Off-balance shot, tough shot in the painted area and puts it in.
Now Kemper going right up and getting another bucket. 8 points, 8 boards for her.
Yeah, Kemper has done a great job here off the bench for Miami Hamilton.
She gets a steal
and another bucket.
Nice basket indeed. Now 10 points for her.
Well, 14's her season and career high, and now the press, and she disrupted another one.
Kinsey's going to get fouled and will go to the line.
That was all Juliana Kemper there, and I'm telling you right now, Thomas More leading by 19, but Coach Hans is not happy with what he's seeing right now, and he gets his starting 5 off the bench.
That's starting 5 of Martin, Hurst, Barth, Turner, and Simon.
That group played well there, except for that last minute or so, and that's, of course, what the coaching staff is going to focus on in the film study tomorrow, or maybe later on today, depending upon how this game finishes up.
Thomas More, they're going to have the University of Tennessee Southern, UT Southern, formerly known as Martin Methodist, coming into town on Thursday, December 1st. That'll be their next game. That's Mid-South action. Brady, you'll be on assignment, I believe.
I will be.
Game.
I will be. I'll be across town on Horizon League action on the Bally Sports Network, and you can get that on demand. They replay those games, so if you need to be here live, I completely understand. But that's Youngstown State comes into play, Northern Kentucky, on the Bally's Sports Network. Return of Adrian Nelson. That should be an interesting matchup between the Norse and the Penguins. Of course, Tevin Allison played for Youngstown State last year.
That's right.
Was their second leading scorer. Of course, he moved on, and then he ran out of eligibility. He had a great season in the Horizon League.
After a great
for head coach Jared Calhoun, after being a two-time NAIA All-American at the University of Cumberland.
Yep, very close to us here in the Mid-South Conference.
He came in here and schooled Thomas More on a couple of occasions.
That's for sure. Thomas More did get the best of the University of the Cumberlands this year, however, as we'll stay here through this break. Brady, for this, kind of final timeout that you and I have a chance to really chat about Julie Costello, let's go through that just a little bit for anyone who maybe missed the pregame show. We'll talk about what she meant to this program.
Well, she did. Coach talked about it. I mean, she played here, back in the 90s, and they've been doing this now for the 21st year, and it's just a way to keep her memory alive. A former player who passed away right after graduation, right before she was going to start her career in the medical field. She was going to be a nurse, and it was just a real shame how that all happened, where she passed away way too soon. And I think ever since then, the coaches and the administration and the family here at Thomas More have done their best to keep her name alive. You got to realize Coach Jeff Hands never met Julie Costello, never coached her, none of that stuff. I mean, he was still helping out as a student at Wilmington when he saw her play, when he used to do sports information work when he was an undergrad. So, I mean, he recognized who she was, but didn't know her at all, and knew that when he took over here and Brian Neal had him, that it was important to keep her memory alive. And they say the Irish blessing in her honor after every game, after every practice, all these years later.
Free throw made by Turner out of the break, but yeah, and that's how you do it. You continue to keep her in the conversation and keep that spirit alive.
I don't like when coaches want to hammer you over the head when they talk about developing our culture.
Sure.
But that is a culture thing when it comes before you. Coaches want to create their own narrative, their own culture. And what Jeff Hands and Brian Neal before him did, they already knew there was an established culture, and you just enhance that by, staying with the basics and not forgetting the people that came before you. And I think that's why this place is so special.
And even with all those national championship banners, not one of them has been put up without Coach Hands talking about how important those that came before him and all of these players for Thomas More are to their program. As Abby Mahan will lose it. Emily Simon's got numbers.
On a cop snake, that's a robbery, and little razzle-dazzle behind the back. Ooh, nasty.
Emily Simon with the feed to Rachel Martin, who did not let the people down. Saints by 21.
How about that? Good grief. Emily Simon doing special things out there.
The Abby Mahan, still 0 points in this game for her. So it's disappointing in her return to the Connor Convocation Center. As that pass is out of bounds, intended for Heath. Kinsey gets the turnover.
Yeah, that and the fact that Lacey Reinhardt was not able to suit up for this one, the third straight game she's missed due to injury. But other than that, I think a good showing overall for Miami Hamilton.
I'd
still
agree.
3.5 minutes left to go.
Taking on the #1 team in the country and this NAIA level. Rachel Martin misses, but Simon with the offensive board and a foul on Abrabot.
Another person I'd like to see get in the game for Miami Hamilton if possible would be Jaden Christ, a freshman out of Union, Kentucky, played on a state championship team at Ryle. Of course, Ryle, the real juggernaut in the 9th region, until Dixie Heights knocked them off a couple years ago. Katie Heights has got it rolling back again. That was a kind of a bump in the road there. For them not win that region title in 21. That was a crazy year. That's when the tournament had to be moved to Holmes High School because Northern Kentucky University was not renting it out to outside vendors because of COVID and all that kind of stuff. And they found the largest high school gym in Northern Kentucky at Holmes with 3,000 seat capacity and only allowed 750 people in there. That was a miserable time in American history that I hope is never going to happen again.
I'd like to think we're past that. And, of course, it's great to have an atmosphere like was brought today for the most part.
We should be a little nicer to each other. But, hey, that's another story for another day.
It sure is. It's Emily Simon. It's a nice look as she lays it off the window and in. We've got a rolling timeout as Coach Haynes going to get those reserves.
You want to get some of his bench players that don't get to play very much, his scout team players there. We talked about Hallie Morgan. She's in there now. Along with Callie Hunt. And then a freshman, Natalie Noel, who's been playing with this group here.
And Natalie Noel.
That'll pretty much round out as far as everybody who is available to play getting in the game for Thomas More.
And this is a good chance for them to show what they can do. And Coach Hands, maybe, he feels comfortable putting them in other situations. Maybe not right away, but maybe down the road he'll keep it in mind.
You got a veteran presence in Rachel Martin to kind of get him into the offense. And then Riley Turner's still a freshman too, man. So she needs to continue to get development in times like this as well.
The Hunt. Got it outside, working on Miller. And a foul going to be called. Riley Turner. No free throws yet.
Schenkel reached in there, trying to stop that pass into Turner. And, of course, that's a non-shooting foul. And I'm not quite to the bonus yet. It'll be the next one. When we start shooting free throws with 2:28 left to go.
Hunt with it now. Out of Trenton, Ohio, went to Edgewood.
That's right. I did a pep rally up there. Skyline Chili in Edgewood, in Trenton for Edgewood.
Turner with it after a missed shot. Shot clock resets at 20, and Rachel Martin, she said, I only need 2 seconds to knock that one down. 4-3.
Rachel Martin, Martin kind of struggles offensively at times. Good to see one fall through for her, especially from long range. Maybe that'll build some confidence for her.
Here's Heath. The defense. Got Haley Morgan.
Knocked away from her twice.
Miller, heavily contested, but able to find some space and score.
How about Miller there? Scored 7 points early in the year against Rio Grande, and then down the other end, how about Turner? Having the game of her career so far, even though it's only 7 games in.
16 points for her. Go along with 9 rebounds. One more, Brady, for that first college double-double.
That ties the career high as far as rebounds go. She's already got it in points and block shots.
A couple of subs in for Miami Hamilton. Simpkins will check back in along with LaMarie Hawkins. Hawkins out of Dayton, Ohio, went to Dunbar.
Yep. Jordan Ware, a freshman out of Covington Holmes, another ninth region player. For Alyssa Brown. Down there on 20th and Madison, or I think it's 25th and Madison. I don't know right where it's at. It's right there where the split is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know where it is.
I think it's actually 25th in Madison. Either way, that's a legendary place, man. A lot of great basketball has been played there, both on the boys and the girls' side. Celeste Hill, one of the greatest players to ever come out of Northern Kentucky, former head coach at Old Dominion after she played there for many years. Don't forget Erica Holman, another Miss Basketball out of Covington Holmes. She went to Kansas State.
Jessica Clark also checking in after the free throws. Another Lakota West.
Yes, Lakota West. Andy Fishman does a great job over there at West.
There's Callie Hunt for Thomas More. Out to Noel. Oh, and that one off the rim, but rebounded by Rachel Martin. Saints with another try.
You're just trying to run your offense here. You're just trying to show the coach that when you call my number, I'll know what to do when I'm out there.
Martin trying to shimmy her way to another basket, but she misses just a little bit short. There's about a half a second between the shot clock and game clock. Got to think that the Harriers are going to put one up, and indeed they do. But unfortunately for Schenkel, she was a little bit too short. Now Turner. Shot clock irrelevant. Rachel Martin will hold it out. That should do it. Thomas More going to win this one 74-48 over the Miami Hamilton Harriers. This will conclude the 21st annual Julie Costello Memorial Classic, and it ends with the Saints going marching. They go to now 8-0 on the year. Miami Hamilton 2-1 now this season, but Brady, as we talked a little bit throughout the game, this Harrier team, nothing to be ashamed of. They took on the #1 team in the NAIA, and they gave their fans a lot to cheer about.
They did a great job here, an outstanding showing, and I think this is a type of game where you schedule tough like this. It'll give it'll give you an opportunity to improve on your level. This will test them in the USCAA schedule that they'll play, small college.
It certainly will for Thomas More. The story, got to be Riley Turner, right, Brady? A huge game as a freshman, 16 points, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks as well. And she really got Thomas More going in the early part when no one else had any offense.
Honestly, I think she kept him in the game in the early going with her energy and did a great job. And, you got to like what you're seeing out of that young freshman out of Newport, Kentucky.
And with that, everyone, we will say our goodbye. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving weekend. Hope you ate too much. Hope you stayed safe. And I hope that you will join us on Thursday as we've got UT Southern, the Firehawks, coming in to take on the Thomas More Saints in Mid-South Conference action. And then also catch NKU on Bally Sports. If you want to listen to Brady, Brady mentioned that game is also on demand. So if you get here to the Connor Convocation Center, you can support our neighbors down the road as well. For Michael Pagano, our producer, my color man Brady Labor, my name is Nate Metz, signing off on the Saints Sports